A very good morning and warm welcome to the third inaugural professorial lecture at the Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology. We extend our heartfelt greetings to Chancellor, Professor Lakshmi Ratnayaka, Senior Deputy Vice Chancellor and Provost, Professor Niranga Amarasingha, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research, Innovation and Global Engagement, Professor Saman Halgamge, our esteemed speaker, Professor Niranga Amarasingha, Pro Vice Chancellor, Academic, Professor Rahul Attalage, Pro Vice Chancellor, Research and International, Professor Samantha Telichagoda, Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Professor Ayantha Gomez, Deans of other faculties, and all other academic and administrative staff members present here today. We also acknowledge the presence of all C-grade officers and industry representatives who are here with us today for the third inaugural professorial lecture at SLIIT. We gather here to celebrate the academic achievements and scholarly expertise of Professor Niranga Amarasingha, who has been promoted to the rank of full professor at SLIIT. These lectures are focal moments within the academic community, providing newly promoted professors with a platform to showcase their accomplishments, share their research, and contribute to the intellectual discourse of our institution and beyond. These inaugural professorial lectures not only holds importance to the Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, but also for the broader academic landscape of Sri Lanka. It inaugurates a tradition of inviting esteemed individuals to share their knowledge and insights, fostering an environment where collaboration and learning flourish. As we commence today's proceedings, it is my great honor and privilege to invite a person whose leadership and vision have been instrumental in the growth and success of this institution. Please join me in welcoming Professor Lakshmi Ratnayaka to deliver the opening remarks.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Senior Deputy Vice Chancellor and Provost, Professor Nimal Rajapaksa, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Saman Halgamge, Pro Vice Chancellors, Deans, Professors, Senior Academic Staff and other academic staff, admin staff, and some students who are present here today. It is a very important occasion for Professor Niranga Amarasingha, who has been promoted as a professor in civil engineering at SLIIT. This inaugural lecture by a person who becomes a professor in a university is a tradition, I think, we have got from UK or United Kingdom. Good old days, there was only one professor for a given department, including in Sri Lanka. When I was a student at Katubedda Moratuwa, we had only one professor. In fact, that was an advantage for the newly established Faculty of Engineering at Katubedda, because there was only one other faculty in the country, that is the Faculty of Engineering at Peradeniya. So some of the senior lecturers who had to wait for about 15-20 years to become a professor joined Moratuwa as professors. They have to wait till the professor either retires or he dies to become a professor in the department, which is a tough task. So that tradition has been now broken. We have a peculiar, I would say, a marking scheme to become a professor. I don't know whether it's practiced in any part of the world, but that is the way that Sri Lanka appoints or promote academics as professors. But I would say that even though those days there was no marking scheme, they were very eminent people. If you consider the people who have been there decades ago, and some of them wouldn't have become a professor if they were to follow the current marking scheme. For example, someone told me that a person like Professor Edurira Sarachandra, who is an eminent of par excellence, wouldn't have become a professor if this marking scheme was there in 50s or 60s. But we all know, without any doubt, is an eminent professor. So, this coming back to the inaugural lecture, why do you have this inaugural lecture? When you are a professor, through whatever the scheme, through the marking scheme or through some other eminent scheme, it's very important that that person is a well-known person in the academia, in the industry, more than anything among the society, including the students. When we were school-going children, we knew who was the professor. At that time, there was only one university, University of Ceylon. Who was the chemistry professor? Who was the physics professor? For the entire country, there was only one professor. We all knew, but now, of course, there are hundreds of professors in these fields. So, they were very well known. But now, it has come to a stage where we have a large number of professors. So, we have to make sure that our professors are well-known people in the country and in other countries as well. So, to do that, we have various mechanisms. We publish papers in eminent, highly respected journals, and then they also work with the industry, work with the society at large. That's very important. If you become a professor and just teach, that is not going, or do research, that's not going to help you, nor the institution. So I sincerely hope Professor Niranga Amarasingha will work, I know that she is already working with the industry, but she will work with the industry to a large extent, work with the profession. Our profession is, in the Faculty of Engineering, is among the engineers. So when Niranga Amarasingha's name is heard, everyone must know that she is an expert in transportation engineering. Then only it will bring honor to you as well as to the institute. So, while congratulating for being promoted as a professor, I am very sure with your contributions at SLIT, you will be recognized as an expert in transportation engineering by everyone in the country, and wish you good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ratnayaka, for gracing us with your presence and sharing your insightful remarks. To officially introduce our distinguished speaker, Professor Niranga Amarasingha, I would like to respectfully invite Senior Deputy Vice Chancellor and Provost, Professor Nimal Rajapaksha, to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. Professor Lakshman Ratnayaka, Chancellor and Chairman of SLIIT, Professor Saman Algamuge, Deputy Vice Chancellor, our distinguished lecturer today, Professor Niranga Amarasingha, Pro Vice Chancellors, Deans, Chief Officers, Professors, academic and non-academic staff, and students. It's a great privilege for me to actually introduce Professor Niranga Amarasingha. As Professor Ratnayaka mentioned, becoming a full professor in the university is the kind of the apex of one's career. Yes, we have senior professor and so on, but I think at the full professor level is the real test, if I may say. Right? Now in Sri Lanka we have the marking scheme. In other countries, of course, you don't have the marking scheme. It's more of a very objective judgment made by detailed letters from 3 true experts in your discipline, right? And these experts are people that you probably have never met, right? And but we are also, as an institution, is very committed to maintaining very high standards when it comes to the promotion to the professor. We have the scheme, and as an institution, we have also have other expectations in addition to meeting the minimum marks. And certainly, Professor Niranga has met those criteria, and that is why we have promoted her to a full professor. Now, the tradition in some parts, I think Professor Saman can talk about this, is actually, I have mentioned this earlier also, the professor is taken around the university in a golf cart, a decorated golf cart with a lot of music and various other things. And we haven't done that actually, but we hope that maybe in future we will do that to bring some color and the glamour into the event. But I think the focus of attention today is Professor Niranga, and I would like to formally introduce her. And Professor Niranga is a proud graduate of University of Moratuwa in civil engineering, and she got her undergraduate degree in 2004, and after that she did her master's at Thammasat University in Thailand, and she received her master's from Thammasat in 2008. And then she proceeded to Kansas State University in United States, where she actually started her PhD in transportation engineering. So since getting her PhD in 2012, Professor Niranga has worked in various areas in transportation engineering. In fact, she has covered traffic, she has covered intelligent transport, transportation systems, and so on, and I think is recognized as a leader in transportation engineering. If you look at her CV, as Professor Ratnayaka mentioned, we want the professor to be known in the field, right? And that is a very important criteria. And now how come Professor Niranga, how come Dr. Niranga became a professor, right? If you look at, she has a long list of publications, right? In addition to that, she has also received a number of awards and also made contributions to various societies and so on. So a very good example, and I'm very proud to say as a member of the SLIIT, Professor Niranga has been recently awarded the Fulbright Award, right? And Fulbright Awards are very competitive awards, and I think that tells that her stature at the international level. And because last time actually I was also asked to write a letter for a Fulbright Award for another person who has also received it. And so that is the kind of standard that we would like to have at SLIIT and our colleagues to have. Then, as I mentioned to you, that she has also received a number of prestigious grants. She was a recipient of one of the HEAD projects, and then she has also received several SLIIT grants. She has received other support, and also I think she has contributed in terms of consultancy into number of government agencies and so on in sharing her expertise in transportation engineering. She is also a trainer. In other words, she has several graduate students who has got degrees under her, and also she is actually very actively involved. I think right now is the first year coordinator of the engineering program, if I know. Am I correct? I think that's what I understand, is the first year coordinator, taking over from Professor Chandana Perra, because that is also a very important part of a professor. A professor should not close the door and do research. Professor should also actually talk to the students, right? Talk to the students starting from the first year level. In fact, the best universities in the world, you have the best people teaching the first year. I know when I was at UBC, the first year physics was taught by a Nobel Prize winner in physics, right? Now you can say that, oh, this guy is a very senior professor, and then, like he's busy with research, so he should be teaching only a graduate course, right? But that is not what you would like to do. We like to see our experienced people actually also bring that their exposure and the expertise to the students at the earliest level of the university, right? So where they can see actually that kind of standard, that kind of knowledge, and that kind of interaction. So as Professor Ratnayaka mentioned, we also have very high expectations for our professors, right? Because we consider them as the research leaders or academic leaders of this university. So we hope that Professor Niranga, as you have done very well in the past in terms of your contributions, active researcher, active teacher, and then also active engagement in the outside world, that you will actually go to the next level of excellence in terms of those activities. And on behalf of the institution, I wish to convey our heartfelt congratulations to you and wish you a very successful career at SLIIT. And it's my great pleasure to invite you to deliver the professorial lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rajpaksha, for your insightful introduction to our esteemed orator. Your words have set the perfect tone for what promises to be an inspiring and thought-provoking lecture. Now, it is with great anticipation that we turn our attention to our esteemed speaker, Professor Niranga Amarasingha. Professor Amarasingha, the stage is yours to deliver the professorial lecture.
Thank you. Distinguished Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Senior Deputy Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellors, Deans, Heads, colleagues, friends, students, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Slate, for giving me this opportunity, and also you all for joining me today. I'm deeply honored and grateful to be appointed as a professor here. Today I will share my journey with the focus on transportation safety. I will discuss my past, current research, and the broader social impact of our works in road safety. Why I say our work? Because I always work with a team, which enable me to work stress-free and also making a higher impact. The topic which I have selected today is professionalism in road safety. When discussing my research, I can divide it into different clusters, which I will explain one by one. Many studies have been focused on human factors, including drivers, pedestrians, and passengers. During my upcoming sabbatical leave, I plan to investigate deeper into these human factors to revisit the fundamental of transportation engineering. I am honored to have secured the prestigious Advanced Research Fulbright Fellowship for this purpose, which will allow me to contribute significantly to the world. The second cluster focuses on the mobility research, addressing the challenges we encountered in our daily life. We have actively worked on to address these issues, laying the groundwork for improving mobility. This effort continues through ongoing studies and international collaborations. Our approach has been quite significant, as evidence securing the AHEAD grant funded by the World Bank. We have presented our mobility research towards the smart transportation on this stage several times before, so you are likely familiar with our works on mobility. In the next cluster here, one approach to enhancing the mobility involves improving the public transportation, which is a key focus of our research aimed at establishing sustainable transportation system. In Sri Lanka, over past decades, we have begun constructing expressways. Looking ahead to the next decade, the rehabilitation of these roads will pose new challenges for the country. Despite the limited pavement engineering laboratory facilities available at CLIT, our research team has initiated collaborative work with the RDA, Road Development Authority, to face these infrastructure challenges. Now, shifting to today's topic of road safety, I want to ensure you feel comfortable my expertise on road safety as proceed with the lecture. My research journey at Kansas State University, culminating my PhD and postdoctoral research, have been dedicated to the field of road safety. Specifically, I have focused on addressing the challenges related to road safety for inexperienced drivers, children, and crashes involving trucks. This research has been received recognition from both peer researchers, and broader community. As a result, as you can see here, I had the honor to be invited to the Harry Truman reception by the Governor of Kansas, Ms. Kathleen Sebasius. Here, in the first picture, you can see me receiving the Best PhD Student Award from Kansas State University. In the second picture, the Best Contribution to the Road Safety awarded from the Missouri Valley Institute of Transportation Engineers. The Best Paper Presentation Award at the Institute of Transportation Engineers annual meeting. These recognitions were granted after rigorous review process, enabled me to conduct traffic safety research with confidence. Additionally, I obtained formal training through a 2-week residential programs on the road safety conducted by Delft University at Netherlands, and 3 weeks residential programs at IIT Delhi. I completed both training programs with full scholarship, with enabling me to think critically about the issues in road safety. This picture was taken the Independence, a British online newspaper, on 8th of March 2020. You may be familiar with this picture. It reported in the newspaper, at least 14 passengers were killed and 30 others injured after bus skidded off the road on the Monaragala-Badulla road at Passara. Police spokesman Ajit Rohana said an initial investigation indicated the driver negligence as the cause of the accident. When investigating the police reported crash database of Sri Lanka, during 2010 to 2019, we found that nearly half of the crashes were attributed to the driver negligence. Other significant factors included the speeding, influence of alcohol, drugs, and errors of judgments. This is another incident which occurred on October 6, 2023. A tree fell on a bus in Colombo, Sri Lanka, killing 5 people and injured 17 others. Reporting this news was not about attributing the blame to one party. Instead, it highlighted a new road traffic safety approach where we share the responsibility for preventing accidents rather than blaming a single party. The approach is known as the safe system approach. The safe system approach recognizes that while human errors are inevitable, the system should be designed to ensure these errors do not result in serious harm. This involves safer roads, safer vehicles, safer speed, and safer road users. By adopting this holistic view, we aim to create a transportation system that is forgiving for human mistakes and significantly reduce the likelihood of fatalities and serious injuries. How do you feel the road crashes? Different individuals experience road crashes differently. I would like to share a couple of my personal experience with road crashes. In my 25 plus years of driving, I have only been involved in one crash, which occurred in 2019. I was on my way to Charit's wedding. He was a staff member of Slate. Wedding was at the Mount Lavinia Hotel. At Maharagama in High Level Road, I stopped my vehicle in the rightmost lane at the T-junction to make a right turn. In 6 seconds, a motorcycle hit the back of my car. Whose fault do you think that it was? Yes, many individuals might think the motorcyclist was at fault. However, I know that it wasn't entirely his fault. At the time, I was pregnant and experienced the elevated blood pressure, which slowed my decision-making abilities and reduced my gap acceptance. This is similar to the challenges faced by older drivers. The motorcyclist likely assumed I would yield to the oncoming vehicle and make the right turn. But I did not. He struggled to navigate the complex situation, and he failed. Additionally, although I had a baby on board sticker on my car, most people are not aware of its significance. The road designers also failed to provide a separate right turn lane. We must share the responsibility for such incidences. After the crash, I had to wait 30 minutes for the insurance representative to arrive before. Finally, I make it to the wedding. We call this type of incidents as the property damage only crashes. The other experience involves, is not myself, my most beloved father. On the two-way road from Agalawatha to Baduraliya, he was on a motorcycle returning from work. and waiting to yield the oncoming traffic behind a stopped bus. An oncoming vehicle hit him, causing him to fall, and then fled the scene. According to the eyewitnesses, he was unconscious and was initially taken to the nearest hospital, then transferred to the district hospital, and ultimately to the Colombo National Hospital. He remained hospitalized for about 2 months and returned home, but his right thigh bone was still unhealed. My father was a well-known figure in the region, a graduate teacher, an acting principal of a leading school, a regional politician who served on the council, a member of several organizational boards, and Agalawattari's seat coordinating secretary for the minister, Dr. Colin R. De Silva. The vehicle that hit him was a Navy Jeep. Therefore, this incident brought significant social and political pressure on our family. During the dark period of 1988 to 89, government hospitals were not fully operational. He had to shut down his businesses, sell vehicles, and valuable 50 acres lands to cover his medical expenses. Though he eventually recovered, he got a brain tumor a few years later and passed away, likely as a consequence of the crash. These type of crashes we call as injury crashes. I think now you feel better what is the crash mean. The statistics I am about to present on fatal crashes underscore the magnitude of these crashes, which I talked. These are not just numbers, it reflects the loss of lives and profound emotional and economic impact of families and communities. These statistics are the stark reminder of the need for the effective road safety measures and the collective responsibility to prevent such tragedies. As you can see here, in 2022, Sri Lanka recorded about 3,000 fatal crashes. This graph illustrates where the Sri Lankans stand for relative to other countries worldwide in terms of the statistics. As you can see in this graph, Sri Lanka reported about 17 road fatalities per 100,000 population, which aligns with the average for middle-income countries. However, as professionals, we should present these fatalities in more meaningful way and provide advice to policymakers. Reporting fatalities per travel distance would yield a more accurate representation. If you travel more, you are more likely to involve crashes. The challenge, however, is that we often lack precise data on travel distances. To address this, my research team developed a methodology based on the questionnaire survey and estimate the travel distances more accurate in developing countries like us. This allows us to report road fatalities in much more precise and insignificant manner. You can see that when we consider the travel distance-based fatality rate, Sri Lanka is in a critical condition here. This highlights the urgent need for us to pay much greater attention on road safety. Also in this graph shows the road fatality rate of Southeast Asian countries. The brown line here represents Sri Lanka. Since 2014, the fatality rate has been rising, now reaching its highest reported level. We cannot afford to wait any longer. Immediate action is needed to save the lives of our beloved ones. Due to time limitations, although I cannot share all our research on improving road safety, I would highlight few key findings to raise the awareness and encourage proactive measures. We have reviewed the driver licensing system in Sri Lanka, which is a two-step process, as you can see here. A person who has turned 17 years old and passed a vision test can take the written test. Our recommendation is to regular update on the assessment questions to reflect the evolving transportation system, which was not. After passing the written test, candidate can take road test 3 months later, provided they are already 18 years old. Successful completion of road tests grants a full licenses to drive light vehicles. After analyzing the crash data and questionnaire survey, we recommended that now is the right time to implement a graduated driving license system in this country. This tiered approach to granting a driving privilege is designed to help new drivers to gain experience under less risky conditions. It's typically included in 3 stages. The first stage is the learner's permit, allow new drivers to practice driving under supervision with restrictions such as no nighttime driving and no driving with peer passengers and so on. The second stage, under the restricted driver's license, permits unsupervised driving, but often comes with limitations like no nighttime driving and limit on the number of passengers. Drivers in this stage may also need to complete a certain number of supervised driving hours and pass the road test. Finally, after fulfilling the requirement on the restricted stage, drivers can obtain the full licenses with no restrictions. We have also identified several negative habits among young drivers. Preventing these habits could save many lives. There are various ways to address them, but research suggests that preventing these habits from becoming ingrained is the most effective approach. Increasing awareness of safety among minors and young adults is strongly recommended. We have identified the several pressing issues that required immediate attention, which you can see here. The knowledge has been disseminated through the conferences and in some cases through mass media and channels. One of the key issues we address is the lower road safety knowledge among young individuals. We have taken proactive steps by informing the Ministry of Education and conducting 14 workshops in various schools. By conducting the workshop, we have identified the knowledge of road sign has been included in the school curriculum, but there is still a need to include the knowledge of road safety issues. Our research team also investigated the various personal protective devices, related laws, enforcement practices, and their usages. We subsequently provided recommendations to increase the awareness of the effectiveness of these devices by promoting the use of helmets, seat belts, and other safety gears. We aim to reduce the severity of injuries in the event of accidents. Additionally, we have suggested improvements in law enforcement practices to ensure better compliance with the safety regulations. Public awareness campaigns and educational programs are also part of our strategy to inform and encourage citizens about the importance of using personal protective devices. These measures, combined with our effort to develop a star rating system for roads, are a crucial step towards enhancing overall road safety in this country. Many countries have adopted the star rating system for roads, but not Sri Lanka. The star rating system evaluates the roads on the scale from 1 to 5 stars, with 5 stars representing the safest road and 1 star indicating the least safe. This rating system helps to identify and prioritize the improvements to enhance the road safety and reduce the risk of crashes, injuries, and fatalities. Our team is currently in the process of identifying the parameters that could be used to create the star rating system for Sri Lankan roads. As you can see in this figure, we are utilizing Google Earth Pro and GIS software for this purpose. The work my team has is significant. We have received several Best Paper Awards for our road safety research and international conferences. Here you can see some photos of these achievements. The students who work with me have gained a deeper understanding of the importance of road safety research, contributing to their academic and professional growth. I participated in the Safety 2018 conference organized by WHO, which attracted over 1,000 participants. I received a sponsorship from WHO to attend this conference, and our paper was the only one selected for an oral presentation out of more than 20 accepted papers from Sri Lanka. During the conference, I had the opportunity to meet the world-leading safety professionals and advocates, which helped raise the visibility of our institute. I have also been invited to engage in the road safety dialogue with the Honda Motors, Japan, during this conference. I hope this brief talk has provided you with a valuable insight into the road safety and encourage you to think carefully when walking, riding, and driving. I would like to take this moment to thank everyone who has contributed to my journey and helped me to reach this stage. However, I want to especially thank few individuals who made major impact to my life. In particular, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to my husband and 2 little daughters for encouraging me in various ways and supporting me throughout this journey. Their independence and willingness to take on responsibilities have been inspiring. I am grateful to my late mother and father for bringing me up in a respectful family and imparting in me the true value of life, also motivating me to be a civil engineer following the career of the family. I am also grateful to my siblings and their families for their unwavering encouragement, support, and assistance, which has been instrumental in my academic success. Despite the early loss of our parents, the 4 of us have stood together and supported each other. Through mutual aid and determination, we have reached the level of and continue to compete with the others. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to my master advisor, Professor Mongkut Pintankulchai, for not only teaching me the fundamentals of research, but also guiding me to explore its details more deeply. His mentorship has been invaluable in shaping my understanding and skills in academic journey. I am grateful for Professor Sunanda Disanayaka's consistent support whenever I need it, even amid her busy schedules. She has always been there to offer guidance whenever I seek it. Her role extends beyond being an academic advisor, for which I am deeply thankful. Thank you, madam. When I graduated with my master's degree, I faced three choices: Melbourne University in Australia, Leeds University in UK, and Kansas State University in United States. I am pleased that I chose Kansas State University because it provided me with ample opportunity to enhance my leadership. During my time there, I served as the president of Sri Lanka Student Society and as the president of ITE Student Chapter. I made significant contribution to the development of these organizations and helped elevate them into the new heights. I continue to apply the leadership skills I learned during my time there. Recently, I had the honor of signing a mutual agreement with Nepal Society of Transportation Engineers in my capacity as the President of Sri Lanka Society of Transportation and Logistics. These five figures represent the key individuals who have been instrumental in my research. Without their support, I won't have been able to accomplish much of what I have today. The first picture shows my former master students, and the second picture shows the current members of Transportation Research Group, actively involved in our work. Although many individuals have provided me significant help and favors, I must stop here due to the time constraint. I would like to express my gratitude to everyone listening to my talk and to those who have organized this event. Thank you all for your support, participation, encouragement in these proud occasions. Have a good day.
We extend our heartfelt appreciation to Professor Niranga Amarasingha for gracing us with her invaluable lecture. Your dedication to scholarship and excellence in sharing your knowledge are truly commendable, ma'am. Thank you for providing us with this enlightening and enriching experience. As we draw closer to this remarkable event, it is my privilege to invite Professor Rahul Attrage, Pro Vice Chancellor, Academy, to deliver the vote of thanks.
A very good morning to all of you. Chancellor, Professor Lakshmana Ratnayaka, Senior Deputy Vice Chancellor and Provost, Professor Nimal Rajapaksa, DBC Research, Innovation and Global Engagement, Professor Saman Halgamge, Pro Vice Chancellors, Deans, Professors, academic staff, students, and distinguished invitees who are connected to this session remotely, and non-academic and other supporting staff. I am profoundly honored and privileged to propose this vote of thanks at this memorable event of the SLIT's journey, that is the Inaugural Professorial lecture session that we had initiated this year. And this is the third session in this series, and very soon, in another 2 months' time, we will be having the fourth Inaugural Professorial lecture. And this is a culture that we had established. When the idea was presented to the senior management, it was accepted, and then this was seen to develop a culture similar to what we see in renowned universities around the world, mainly targeting towards our pursuit to excellence, the recognition, positioning, and visibility. So I think we are happy to see. We would have expected a bit more participation from other faculties, but we will look into that as well. So today's inaugural professorial lecture was delivered by our colleague, Professor Niranga Amarasingha. So I would like to, at the outset, again, join Chancellor and Senior Deputy Vice Chancellor in extending our felicitations and congratulations to you on this promotion. And you touched upon the topic on professionalism in transport safety, highlighting your achievements during your postgraduate studies, awards, and your contribution, how you develop your capacity, and so on. Coming back to the local context, you also indicated the importance of, through your examples, your personal experience, and bringing in some proposed methods, evidence-based, based on research, that how a competitive, innovative methods can be introduced, like the graduated driving license, star rating, etc. Not forgetting that we are in a country where the driving license can be obtained and received at home even without going through any tests. And country with those who have license do everything other than what is given in rules and regulations, overtaking in the left side and not respecting the pedestrians, and for which they are not really ashamed of. So this is something that we have to make a change of more than research and contribute. So we also acknowledge and we recognize what you demonstrated as, apart from the research, how you have established your links to support the industry and taking your research group and training and mentoring the juniors to be in this research group. We would also expect during your Fulbright tenure that you would be looking towards that multifaceted approach and bringing in-depth knowledge to and bringing that back to the Sri Lankan context. With that, I would also like to, again, finally, extend on behalf of the organizing committee sincere gratitude to our Chancellor for being here with us and for the insightful initial remarks, Professor Nimaratna Rajapaksa, for introducing the guest speaker, the orator, and all the others who are present here, the DVC, Pro-Vice Chancellors, Deans, Heads, all academics. I'm sure Professor Lalit Gamage, our Vice Chancellor, is unable to be here. I'm not sure whether he was remotely connected to this session. So again, in his absence, I would also, my duty to thank him for supporting this, encouraging this initiative. And finally, the team behind this, the ITSD staff for providing all the supporting accessories and services. Then the facilities management unit ensuring uninterrupted service, and the human capital team behind this organizing, sending invitations, and also not forgetting the last, my team, and the excellent job done by the compeer who is taking the practice of attending this event. And looking forward to meeting you again in the 4th inaugural professorial lecture session in somewhere in October. I wish you a very pleasant day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Athalage, for your gracious words. With that, we draw today's session to a close. We extend our sincere gratitude to all of you for your presence. We eagerly anticipate welcoming you to our upcoming professorial lectures at Slate. Before we conclude, I kindly request everyone to rise for the national anthem as a mark of respect for our nation.
Sri Lanka, Namo, 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 Mata. Sundara Sri Karini, Surani Ati Somamana Lanka. Ranya Naya Mekamal Walaturu Hidaya Bhumiya Ranya. Apa
we extend our heartfelt thanks to everyone who joined us today. We wish you a wonderful day, and until we meet again, take care and stay inspired.